Hey, what is up, mortals? It is TheLuckyDerp here, and welcome to the 8th part of What If Orochimaru Never Attacked the Leaf Village. Just want to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so we begin. The smell of smoke and liquor hit Naruto and Sakura like a wall as they entered the seedy-looking bar, almost making them cough. They both swallowed to hide it in an attempt to not appear weak, and instead just watched Jiraiya as he surveyed the area. He walked over to the bartender with a smile on his face. "Hello there, my friend. Have you seen a woman in here recently?" The bartender rolled his eyes. "Look, pal, I can't control who comes in here if you're looking for women." No, that's not what I mean. I was looking for... On second thought, what were you going to say? Naruto butted in, shouting, "We're looking for some old geezer lady named Tsunade." The chatter and clamor of the bar immediately came to a halt as the patrons all looked at the young boy, and then in the corner where a blonde woman was sitting, glaring not at Naruto, but at Jiraiya. She took a swig from the bottle in front of her, and then slightly shook her head and looked forward again, causing a sigh of relief to come from some of the bargears as they returned to their conversations and card games. A young woman standing next to her continued speaking as well. Something about how much money Tsunade had lost last night. The group approached her as she spoke as Jiraiya slid into the booth across from her. "Who are the brats?" Sakura stood there awkwardly without room to sit. The room was noisy and gross and uncomfortable. And now she's being called a brat by the person she wants to win over because of something Naruto did? "The boy is Naruto Uzumaki." Her eyes snapped up to Naruto and looked back and forth between him and Jiraiya in a quizzical way. The other one is Sakura. She wants you to show her a thing or two about your techniques. Tsunade looked at her with a face as if to say, "I'll humor you. What makes you think I would teach you anything?" Jiraiya began to speak, but Tsunade covered his mouth with her hand. "I asked her." Tsunade, Shizune, Jiraiya, and Naruto turned to her. Her inner monologue was extremely irritated and annoyed, but she tried to keep calm and polite. "I want to become as strong as I can. And my chakra control is very good. What have you accomplished with it?" Sakura stammered as she tried to come up with something. She hasn't really helped her with the missions their team has taken, and was eliminated from the Chunin exam preliminaries almost immediately. Our team made it through the Forest of Death." "So? Nothing then." "Our team, you. I'm asking what you have done." Sakura folded her arms and looked down in embarrassment. "That's what I thought. I don't particularly feel like teaching anyone at this point, much less someone with absolutely no promise. This is what happens when you tell young shinobi that anyone can be great." Sakura gritted her teeth as her inner self shouted, draining out the noise of the bar. "Find a different teacher. You could learn a lot from anyone, especially judging by the size of your forehead." That did it. Sakura pointed at her and shouted, "Oh, get off your high horse! Like your time is so important! It's not like you have anything better to do, other than get drunk and lose money!" Naruto and Jiraiya looked at her, stunned, after taking another swig. Tsunade smirked. "That's more like it." Elsewhere, Kakuza entered the Akatsuki hideout with Gaara slumped over one of his shoulders, and a bag in the other hand. The projection of the other members of the Akatsuki stared as Kakuza threw Gaara onto the ground with a hard thump. Gaara, although beaten and barely conscious, raised his hand in an attempt to encircle Kakuza with his sand. Quickly, he was flipped over onto his stomach, with Kakuza's foot stepping on the back of his head. "Where is Hidan?" Pain asked. It was at that point Gaara looked up to realize that the only other people physically there with them was this orange-haired man, and someone who looked a lot like Sasuke. Kakuza threw a bag on the ground and then rolled out a mangled mess of what used to be Kakuza's teammate. "He crushed me! The brat crushed me! Kill him now!" Gaara can't believe it. After being crushed by his sand, that one was still alive and could even talk. Pain chuckled for a moment and approached the three of them. "What's so funny?" Hidan screeched, ignoring him. Pain looked down at Gaara. "Take your foot off of him, Kakuza. We know you were strong. We had no idea you could do something like this." "Shut up." Gaara immediately tried to stand and attack, but before he could do anything, he looked up to see Itachi standing in front of him as well, and collapsed as he looked into his eyes. The next thing he knew, he was standing in his father's office. His body was completely healed, and he didn't even feel tired. His father was working and didn't seem to notice him. Genjutsu, Gaara thought. His father began complaining about him, how he has to be babysat, or else countless people could go missing or die. How he was disappointed that he couldn't have had a son that was strong and sane. Gaara shouted at no one in particular. "What are you doing to me?" He received an answer coming from inside his head in Pain's voice. They hated you. Everyone hates you, Gaara. I don't care. Gaara screamed, only to hear his voice sounded much higher pitched. He looked at his hand to see that his body looked like he was around 5 years old. The room became pitch black, and after a moment, the moon shone down to reveal that he was atop a building in the hidden sand, with a bloodied Yashimaru, Gaara's uncle, and the only person to show him affection, lying on the ground. Why do they hate you? I don't know. Of course you do. Gaara looked in the lifeless eyes of his uncle. They hate me because I'm a monster. No, Gaara. We are monsters. You only have a monster inside of you. And that is what we do. We take monsters out of people. Why? So that we can use them. Then why did that guy fight me? He thought you wouldn't come on your own. You see, in order to take the monster out of you, you have to die. Fortunately, we have many ways to bring people back from the dead. The genjutsu ended and the pain of Gaara's body washed over him as he looked up at the three men. You see, Gaara, we are going to collect all 9 of the monsters that are scattered around the world. We're going to collect yours, whether you want us to or not. But if you help us capture the others, we will take yours last. We might even find a way to bring you back. Before he could answer, Gaara fainted from the pain and blood loss. Pain motioned for Kakuza to place Gaara into the mouth of the King of Hell. As Kakuza walked away, Hidan wiggled himself to position where he could see where Kakuza was going. Guys? You're kidding, right? I'm way more injured than him. What about me? Sasuke darted through the forest, Sharingan scanning in every direction. Boru led the way, focused on the scent in front of him. The dog was so laser-focused that it was almost hard to keep up with him. This exercise was meant to build trust and teamwork between two of them. And what harder task than to track down Kakashi himself? Suddenly, Boru turned on a dime and began leaping to the right. Sasuke smirked if he has made a rapid change in course. They have to be close. Boru exited the tree line and ran to a group of genin hanging out. After catching up to them, slightly panting, Sasuke saw Baro and Akamaru sniffing each other's faces. Whoa, when did you get a dog too, Sasuke? Shikamaru said. Sasuke scowled and unsummoned his dog in frustration. It's just a summoning. It's for tracking. Kiba picked Akamaru up and put him back on his head. I see. You saw how strong Akamaru is and you want to copy my clan. That's fine. I'm not copying you, loser. Then why are you ashamed to copy someone? Isn't that the point of your eyes? Shino interjected in a deadpan manner. Sasuke growled and started to speak, but it was cut off by Shikamaru. Have you received your team's missions yet? No, why? We just got ours. We just had to deal with some bandits that have been harassing the road from Leaf to the Cloud. I guess they've been saving you for one of the hard ones. What do you mean, one of the hard ones? You and Naruto were the 2 finalists of the tournament. It's a bit of a drag, but the Hokage probably has high expectations for the 2 of you, specifically. You might even get a B rank mission. Sasuke thought about this. He knew he could handle it, but Naruto may not listen. And Sakura would be no hope at all. To make matters worse, both of them were away from the village. There's no time to prepare. He turned to walk away before clenching his fist and swallowing his pride. Hey, Kiba. Hey, loser, he said in the same cadence that Sasuke used against him a moment ago. As if it wasn't hard to ask him for help from Kiba of all people. How do you train your dog? Mine won't listen to me. Well, you shouldn't be training him to begin with. Sasuke looked taken aback, but let Kiba continue. Akamaru is my teammate. I'm not the boss of him. They can be just as smart as us if you treat them like an equal instead of a pet. Without a word, Sasuke put his hands in his pockets and began to walk away. You're welcome, Kiba shouted. Hey, Pervy Sage! Put away that telescope and help me for a change! Naruto plopped into the ground and sat in his legs crossed. Pieces of rubber and deflated rubber balls littered the area around him. The leaves of the bush rustled as Jiraiya stepped out of them angrily. I told you not to call me that! And I've told you everything you need to know. Increase the chakra in density, but do the spin in the chakra in the same way as before with the water balloon. It's so hard! How am I supposed to add that much chakra and maintain control? Jiraiya sighed and approached him. Put out your hands. Now only focus on containing the chakra and keeping the spiral pattern. But don't add any chakra. Naruto stood there awkwardly concentrating with nothing between his hands. Is something supposed to happen? Just do it for a second, would you? Jiraiya began adding chakra into Naruto's hand. Soon the ball began to form. This time looking more stable than any Naruto had formed himself. Naruto's face lit up as he ran into a nearby boulder and slammed it with his new jutsu. Rasengan! The damage was not as great as he would have hoped, but he still did it. Naruto leaped in excitement before his jaw dropped as an idea entered his head. He created a shadow clone facing him and put his hand out. That's cheating, Jiraiya said lazily. It's not cheating! Both of Naruto's said in unison. They turned their attention back to each other and nodded in understanding, before the real Naruto held out his hand and the other began adding chakra. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. Hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge of all kinds of series guaranteed. I'd like to let you all know on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being we only accept members 16 and older to join our crew. You can find us on Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is all around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whatever category of work that fulfills your interest. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.